Back to the Fantasy Waiver Wire. This your boy Tubby. Back with me as always is Greg.
What up?
Week 5 of the NFL season. Week 5, man. It's already going pretty quick. But we're back for week 5 for your stardom, sit-em lineup predictions. We're going to show you ones of our own as well. As we get ready, there's a lot of injuries out there on everybody's team. The bye weeks are starting to eat people up all around the league. I mean, you see how I won last week. It was basically because of bye weeks.
Right.
But back for week 5. Eagles 2-2 and looking to face the Browns. Hopefully we don't get the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson this weekend.
Right.
Back for week 5. What's going on, Greg?
Well, I feel like, what's his name from that show? Are you sure about that? When you said week 5? Are you sure about that? It's week 6, actually.
Oh, week 6. My bad.
Yeah, so
my
like
bad.
Week 5. It's crazy because this is the thing about football is week 6 sneaks up on you.
Right.
I mean, it's like, holy smoke. It's here. And yeah, Eagles coming up to bye, so we don't have to worry about that crap anymore. Got Cleveland. So it'll be an interesting week. But tonight we got a pretty good matchup with the 49ers, NFC West matchup with 49ers, the walking wounded of the 49ers, still playing decent football.
Yeah.
Coming off the loss to the Cardinals, which was kind of handed to the Cardinals at the end of that game. You know, going up against the Seattle Seahawks, who come off a tough loss of their own.
Man.
Losing to the Giants on the blocked field goal, which another. You sure about that?
Man,
I saw the replay. Dude was holding the center down. I don't think that's legal.
No, it's definitely not legal.
You can't put your hands on the center until he comes out of his stance, and yet the refs completely blew that
every time.
So yeah, that was a rough one for Seahawks. So this is two teams that really they can't afford to lose this game. So fantasy points are at a premium tonight with some decent plays.
Bruh. I have a player tonight in DK Metcalf who has fumbled the last 2 weeks. You know, we got an early question. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it straight up. Wendell or Shakir for PPR. Let me pull these players up.
Robinson, yeah.
Wandell. Yeah. Wandell is I have him on my other league. He's been solid.
Yeah. I agree.
Him, I think last week. Yeah, I just played against him just last week. He got 18 points, but double digits all year. And then you have Shakir, who missed last week.
Yeah.
It's always something to keep in mind. Still questionable. Didn't practice on Thursday. This is easy for me. I'm going Robinson just because he's healthy and he hasn't. In our league, I want to just mention that we get points for receiving first downs as well, too. So if our numbers look a little more inflated than in your league, that could be the difference. But in our league, 14, 10, 17, 20, and 18, he's been a perfect flex. You know, that's easily wide receiver 1 in a lot of leagues.
Yeah.
You know, like this is, I mean, in 17, 20, and 18, the last couple of leagues with Malik Neighbors being out.
Right.
I think this is perfect, man. I think Wandell is going to continue to get the bulk. Let's look at Malik Neighbors.
Well, the thing is, I really look at on this while you're looking that up is with Wandale Robinson is the matchup. It's a great matchup at home against the Bengal defense that just can't seem to stop anybody in the air. And then you've got Shakir going up against the Jet defense, which is one thing they can do this season is play defense. It's just they're not scoring any freaking points.
Right.
So I would much rather feel comfortable with Robinson in that situation in Cincinnati, playing Cincinnati at home, than I would going up against the Jets defense. So I would go with Wandale.
Yeah. So you got Malik Neighbors still not practicing. So that pretty much put Wandale right in wide receiver 1 for at least the Giants. And they don't have the greatest team, so you know they'll be down all the time. So I'm going with that. I'm going with Wandale on that one, man.
I'm with you.
All right, man. So good luck to you. If you got any more questions, you can put them down in the chat. Let's go to our league, man. Let's see what's going on in our league.
I don't want to.
I know, man. I know this has to be a little grueling for you week after week, man. You caught a tough one last week.
Well, it was my own doing. Well, first of all, I haven't been able to be on the show because we had COVID run through our household. And so it's been rough. I mean, I couldn't barely breathe. You didn't want me on the show going,
right.
That would have sucked. But
Bring it up from last week. Here we go.
But yeah, so I picked up Kirk Cousins because I had my quarterback on a bye. Got dumped Richardson when he got hurt. So I thought I'd put him in the starting lineup, and I didn't. I would have won had I had him in the starting lineup. I had to go with Carr, and he just completely crapped the bed.
Yeah.
And
high score. It was $100 mistake.
Yeah.
I hate to put our business out there, but hey, this is what we play for every week in our league, man. It's cash up for grab. Munchkin, can you close that door, please? Thank you. Pause
like I said last week when I did this before the Thursday night game, I think it's just God's way of saying, just enjoy football this year. Don't worry about fantasy.
Sometimes it be like that, man.
Just enjoy the games. And I'll be honest, when I didn't even really look at the score because I knew I'd screwed up. I looked at it Monday night, and when Carr was playing horrible, and I went, let me just see how much. And I was still kind of in it. Carr had a halfway decent game. I could have won the matchup, but it is what it
leaves the game. I mean,
luckily in my other league, which I've been kind of up and down, I picked up Kareem Hunt and started him in place of I have Jahmyr Gibbs in that league as well, and he was on a bye, so I put him in there, 21 points, and I ended up winning by like 5 points. So
nice,
even handy.
That's crazy how he can walk off the street and they give him 27 carries. Obviously, last week he got some carries too, but 27 carries, 100 yards rushing.
Unreal.
I mean, it's like that's how you can tell that the Chiefs are a well-coached team, because how can you lose everybody? Travis is not playing optimum. You lose Rashee Rice, and you just keep plugging away and somehow winning these games. And Patrick Mahomes is not having a great year.
No, he's struggling out there, but they're winning.
Yeah,
he's willing them to win. The players that they are playing out there, Worthy's playing good, and Hunt coming in for Pacheco is just a godsend for them. Plus, he's familiar with it. He's coming back home to Kansas City. And he's found a second life. We'll see how long he lasts for the whole season. But a lot of these fantasy prognosticators that were saying to not pick up Hunt, that he has too much tread on the tires, I was like, bull crap, man. It's
7 years. He's only been 7 years. Same as Patrick Mahomes. I know running backs take a little more of a beat.
Yeah, they do. But it's the Chiefs, and their offense is going to find a way to get him the ball. And clearly, Carson Steele was not. We saw him. We knew there wasn't going to be much with him.
The fumbling is what hurt Carson Steele.
Yeah.
If we look right here, fumble loss.
Yeah, I don't think he just had any spark though.
Fumble loss.
There was when he touched the ball, there was no juice, man. It was just kind of flat.
He's a heavy hitter. He's like a goal line, get you 1 to 2.
Yeah,
real quick.
And we know what we get with P.
Don't help you. I mean, that's what happened to Stevenson.
Yeah.
He pulled the 50. He pulled the ultimate fake, man. I benefited from that fake out from Stevenson.
Yeah.
He's fumbling in New England. So they said he's going to be benched. So Rod benched him. So Rod benched him against me, and I ended up doing okay for it. But anyway, on to this week, man. Well, I got some challenges.
I wanted to say though that the another fumbling issue helped me out, even though I didn't win my matchup. Is I had picked up Tracy for the Giants, and they were kind of platooning him and Gray. Gray fumbles at the goal line, and it gets run back. We don't see Gray the rest of the game, and Tracy went off, dude. I am so glad I picked that kid up. He had a monster game.
You have him in this league, right? Yeah,
I am in our league. Yeah. Done as starting running back.
Oh, I'm on the wrong side. My bad.
Yeah, it's all good.
Let me see. Tracy.
Tyrone Tracy.
Man, no, 19. Yeah, 18 carries, 129, 7 to pop, 2 targets, 1 catch. Okay. Hey,
when Singletary went out,
he's a rookie.
They were going to platoon. Yeah, they were out of Purdue. He was a good runner at Purdue.
So old. These rookies are old, bro. Look at this, 24.
I know, right?
These rookies are old as shit. Like Daniels, old. I think that's why they're coming out so polished.
Yeah, because
they're old, man. You're not like, man, mind you, Jalen was what? Just turning 18 when he was starting for Nick Saban in Alabama.
Right.
They're on like a way different trajectory.
Yeah.
But anyway, now I didn't know he had that good of a game.
Yeah, he did. I was watching that game, and I was like, when Gray got the goal line carry, I'm like, are you kidding me? And then he fumbled at the goal line, and we didn't see him the rest of the game. They sat him, and Tracy went off. Now, for me and for all the Singletary owners out there, we got to keep a close eye on that, because Singletary is rumored to be back and ready to go.
He's
So
back at practice.
yeah, so
Limited Thursday, but a groin and hamstring injuries could be a little iffy.
So it's really difficult because it's just something you have to watch, because I have to watch it, because I got to look, do I start him, or do I use Singletary, or do I go back with Tracy again? Right. He's got some juice. They're playing Cincinnati, whose defense has not been really good this year. So,
look, man, running backs, they go with the hot hand.
Exactly.
The in-form, as they say it in soccer, the in-form player is who you go with. Yeah, man. So,
yep.
Yeah, you got some running back. At least you have both of them.
Yeah, I got Singletary and Tracy. I didn't drop Singletary because I knew he'd be back soon. But I actually really like what I see out of Tracy. I think that the Giants would be stupid. As much as I dislike the Giants, I think they'd be stupid not to feed him, because he had a game.
63% of the snaps right here. Like that's to me, I look at obviously attempts and snap count. That's huge. I tell you the volume that they're getting.
And if you look after the first quarter, when Gray fumbled, it would be more like 75%, because the second through the fourth quarter. But yeah.
Okay. So like they still use Gray as a passing option. Yeah, 3 catches, 50 yards. And just 30%. Yeah. So he's probably more of their little same size backs too. Okay.
Yeah, I think if Singletary comes back, you will only see Singletary and Tracy. You won't see much of Gray.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Definitely not a pickup unless you're in the 14-man league.
Yeah. I would stash Tracy though, because like you said, groin injuries can be a problem. If you got room, I would stash him. There's some good running backs out there, dude, that can be had. We already talked about, Bucky Irving a few weeks ago, and Tank Bigsby's taken over for ATN. And then you've got Jalen Wright in Miami, because Achane can't stay healthy. We knew Achane could stay healthy. Neither can Mostert.
Concussion. Got rocked.
Yep.
Got rocked.
It's a steady thing with Achane, dude. I mean, it's like he's got the ability, but he can't stay on the freaking field.
Right.
So it's like Jalen Wright is got a lot of spark, man. So I had him early in the season, and I dropped him, and I had no room to pick him up. So now he's gone in our league.
Now he's available. He's available. You can hit the add button right now.
The problem is if you look at my bench, I ain't got no room.
You got to drop somebody.
I can't drop Bucky Irving. I can't drop Tracy. I can't drop Singletary. I got Brees Hall. I got Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
I got a running back problem. I would love to have him though, but I would recommend anybody that has room, pick him up.
Rod last week was texting me and basically like, man, I'm gonna just have to. It's gonna be a free win for you. It's gonna be a free win for you. I was like, well, don't set your roster then at all. Then if it's a free win, which I don't condone, even as a commissioner of the league, like I'm even upset that I allowed Big A Willie to go back-to-back weeks having Mixon in his lineup. Like, but we know what we pay for this league. That's crazy for him to, former champion. So I'm probably gonna reach out to him, make sure everything's okay. Just because I don't like that. Week after week, you just starting.
You could be being human trafficked right now if you got Mixon in your lineup for he's probably on his way to Indonesia.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You have to be completely not paying attention.
It's crazy.
So I'm gonna reach out to him just to see what's going on, man. Even though I'm playing him this week, but Mixon may very well be back.
Make sure to contact him after kickoff.
Hey, man, check your lineup, man. So yeah, Rod said he gave me a free one because he didn't want to drop, like he didn't want to pick up a kicker. A lot of things. Now Pittman's out. I mean, he's going through the injury bug. Achane, even though they're on a bye week, he still wouldn't have probably played this week. He got hit really hard. Pittman doubtful. Ford hasn't really done much for him at all.
I play him? I need a win, damn it.
Yeah. I thought you play him this week. Remember y'all were talking about that.
I'm good. I was saying, why didn't I play him? I thought we were looking at your matchup.
No, this is your guys. This is your matchup.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, and I seen you guys in the chat like somebody's getting a win.
Somebody's gonna win.
Rod changed his name to Cancun on 3, formerly known as White Rhinos, because. He started stressing me out with his roster. Hey man, my team is out and hey, I got a player this. I'm like, look, man, I'm stressing enough with my own roster. I can't worry about somebody else's roster. My own problems.
Exactly.
you can lose a monster player, just like Nico Collins scored that monster touchdowns, been killing it. Best wide receiver in football so far this year, stat wise. First 5 weeks of the season, easily hamstring, IR, boom.
And it sucks because I have him in my other league. But what doesn't suck is who does that help the most? Stephon Diggs, who I do have. Stephon has been up and down. He's been touchdown dependent, but now, I mean, him and Dell are going to get the work. He's been good this year, but he could be better. So that's going to be nice.
He only had one week
like
that's considered off. I mean, he's averaging 20 points.
But
that's
like
a ton.
But like I said, he could be better.
It could be if you're being greedy, because this is averaging the dub. That's
I like somewhere
in the dub should get you some dubs. I
my
mean,
number one receiver, I like 30 points is what I. But anyway, in our league, especially when we're getting the point per first down, that's where you see these big wide receivers numbers in our league.
Yeah, if you get one to go off, they go. I had Drake London last week. Absolutely went off. Your guy gets you 10 plus, you're probably going to hit 40.
Yeah.
Mooney was a really good pickup for Outcast.
Oh, that was huge. Yeah.
I just couldn't pick him for obvious reasons. Why would I have two Falcon receivers? But can you imagine if I had two Falcon receivers
that night? That
last week?
Yeah.
What? Well, so, yeah, man, this is your matchup for the week.
Yeah.
How you feeling about Ayuk? I know he's been
well, last week was a really good week for him. Yeah, last week a really good week. But again, up and down. I think the injuries and he's in the rhythm of the game. You see Purdy now looking his way more. And I noticed that with the game against Arizona. Yeah, they lost, but he was looking for Ayuk. What's the target on there? I can't really read that.
12.
Yeah, so see, there you go. So he was looking his way. Hopefully that continues. Jennings is a little bit banged up. Debo was back in the lineup, so anything can happen, but I think that I'm thinking I'm going to keep him in the lineup. Boy, you can't leave Ayuk out.
It's like Purdy either Purdy goes to him 5 times or double digits. It's no in between. It's 5.
Early in the season, he just wasn't crisp. Those first 2 games, he looked slow. And I think that was from not playing in the preseason and then signing his contract. Now he looks like he's the Ayuk of last year. I feel much better about it. So I'm thinking against Seattle tonight, we should see, hopefully, fingers crossed, a good dose of Ayuk. I'd be happy tonight if Ayuk gives me 15 points. Okay. That's just to get me a consistent. What is he projected at? 20?
20 on the spot. 20.
Yeah. So if he hits 20, I'll be ecstatic.
Yeah.
Okay, I just need solid numbers from everybody.
And Gibbs, I mean, Gibbs is averaging 21 points per year or so. Yeah. I mean, these guys, man. I mean, him and Montgomery. It's so crazy that both of them can equally be RB1s on somebody's team. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's insane. Look at Montgomery, what he's averaging, because it's about the same.
Let's see.
Yeah.
About the same. Yeah. He's crazy. Had higher or lower. Yeah. So 21, 19, 27, 18 to 21, 22, 20, 22.
What a running game.
And a touchdown every game for Montgomery, a touchdown.
Unreal.
But Gibbs, he has a sandwich. He had 2 last game. He made up for previous games. So Montgomery and Gibbs, they just, especially in our league.
This week will be tough because they
got a lot of catches from the last 2 weeks from Gibbs. Not a lot of catches. No catches, actually, the past 2 weeks from Gibbs. And he's still putting up 20. That's huge.
Yeah. This will be a tough game on the road in Dallas. It's a rematch of the tackle eligible game. And I think that it should be pretty interesting what happens now. Dallas being banged up. Of course, Gibbs and Montgomery are must starts, but with Parsons being banged up and their other defensive linemen being banged up. So I think that they're going to struggle, but Dallas, but it still could go either way. It's going to be crazy. All right. So Brock Purdy or Stroud? Well, Purdy is starting against Seattle tonight. So you got to make this decision now. I like the way Stroud's been playing lately. So that's a tough one. I'm going to look myself.
Let's see what he gives you. Brock has had one game. He's had one good game. That was against the Rams. Everything else has been pretty average. And I want to add again that if your scores in your league look a bit different than ours, we get passing first downs as well too for our quarterbacks. And CJ Stroud has kind of been he's had better, bigger games, but man, consistently. But he's going against New England. Drake May is starting this week. He's probably going to have a little rookie struggles. So, but New England does have a good defense, but you should be able to put up numbers against them. Now, Brock Purdy, on the other hand, let me see.
Well, here's my rationale. If Daniel Jones can put up numbers against Seattle, Brock Purdy should be able to put up numbers plus 10. That's all I'm saying. Daniel Jones, we know who Daniel Jones is, dude. We know who he is. And I watched that game against the Giants, and they're not the Legion of Boom anymore. It's just not. It's not that same defense. So Giants are in that game because they're getting run on and they're getting thrown on by Jones. Jones, without Neighbors, and I add, Jones looked like a friggin' superstar. So yeah, I lean Purdy in this one, and I have Stroud. I have Stroud in my other league. I'm not in ours. And I don't know if I'm starting Stroud this week at New England. It's not a great matchup for Stroud. I think they'll win, but I think that the numbers would probably be something around 17-7, 20-7, something like that. I don't expect it to be high volume, especially losing Nico Collins, he's so dependent on him.
But they have Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell. I mean, step right up. Those guys.
Mixon,
go ahead.
Mixon might be back. I know he's still questionable. I'm not 100% whether he's coming back or not. What does it say? Limited in return to practice. If a veteran being limited to practice, he's probably playing. Probably. It makes a big difference if he plays. I think that Stroud has struggled without Mixon in the lineup because Mixon takes a lot of heat off of him and allows him to be able to throw downfield. It's a tough one. I do respect New England's defense more than I do Seattle's. And so me personally, I would lean Purdy tonight.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. One 300-yard game. Interesting.
And a lot of injuries, and they're getting a lot of guys back. So I'm and you know me, I'm not the biggest Purdy fan in the world. You know, I don't like the 49ers. So I'm keeping it real. Is that's where I would lean,
because this is a Gannon's defense last week, right? So you're going up against a Gannon's defense. 35 balls, 2 picks, a touchdown, 2 picks. I didn't know it was that bad. You've been throwing up. Okay, man, the turnovers for Brock. He's had all but one game, the first game. That could be a thing. CJ, let me see him. Yeah, not a ton. Just last game, that Buffalo game.
Yep.
I can't believe they beat him. I mean, speaking of Buffalo, you see the ebbs and flows of the season already, right? Let's talk about like the MVP race and how it started. So you get Derek Carr coming out, boom, right? Derek Carr and my quarterback, Allen, to the top, right? Boom. Then it's Jaden Daniels, not really sure. Then in 2 weeks, I mean, just right on his head. Just all of a sudden, like Josh Allen had his worst game as a pro last week.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at him like, bruh, do something, bruh. Do something. And now he's trending down and the Daniels and them trending up. So this is going to be a dogfight. And then all of a sudden, Baltimore has been secretly beating the top teams, or at least the teams that are, projected to do well.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, that was a hell of a game. Wasn't it? The Bengals game? Oh my God.
Here's the thing. If Baltimore loses that game, and they should have, if freaking Taylor doesn't run the ball 3 straight times on the 35, what are you doing? You've got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and you run up the middle 3 times. You don't even give him one shot at getting better yards, and you just trot McPherson out there and say, have at it. Hit a 53-yarder for us, win the game.
Yeah.
One of the most ridiculous things, but that's bad coaching in a nutshell right there. But the other thing is if the Baltimore loses that game, then both teams are 2-3.
Right.
Baltimore and Cincinnati would be 2-3 right now.
Oh yeah.
And that turned everything around for Baltimore. But it's what I said at the beginning of the season. What I noticed last year with the parity in the NFL, even the bad teams can win a few good games every now and again. So and it's like if you look at the teams that win one week,
Mm-hmm.
70% of them will have a horrible game the next week.
Right.
You know, I heard somebody say that every time somebody plays the Lions, they don't cover the spread the next week. But I'm like, that's a lot of teams though. We could do an analysis and say every time you play the Cowboys, the next week you don't cover the spread. If you win that game,
right?
Because you just go up and down. Look at the Eagles, look like world beaters, beat New Orleans. As far as defensively,
mm-hmm.
and then they come out against Tampa Bay, and it's just total, crap show.
Yeah, I know they were really down on Baltimore, but look at who they've played in their first 5 games. Kansas City, Las Vegas, that's a meh. But then you go Dallas, Buffalo, Cincinnati. That's a tough starting 5. You come out, play the Super Bowl champs, start the season. Vegas, right? That was a big letdown game, right? Because they lost to them, right? And they lose to Vegas. They were 0-2. Big letdown game, right?
And they won.
Then you come out and you whoop up on Dallas and cruise to the finish.
Yep.
Whoop up on Buffalo. They whooped Buffalo.
Yeah, they did.
Wasn't they whooped Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then that Cincinnati game was an absolute delight. I mean, to have that to be the early games were amazing. Yeah. Like the early games had me locked in, man. But this Baltimore Cincinnati game was a treat to have. A good overtime game, all the ups and downs, the missed kick. Because McPherson's, he can hit 53, but that win was rocked. It's all the little things, man.
But in overtime,
should he be able to hit it? Yes.
Yeah, but in overtime, you don't take that chance. It's too far away to run 3 straight times when you've got Burrow and Chase and Higgins, and it's like, and even Oshavas is playing good.
Right.
I watched it. And I went, dude, he's going to run 3 straight times and put it on his leg. Why would you go for a 53 when you can go for a 43? Or
Chase had a monster game. Burrow had a monster game. Everybody had a good game. It was a good game. There's no downers. It's just who had the ball last.
Well, and Cincinnati should have had the ball last. So they ran it 3 straight times.
Yeah. You definitely have to be more aggressive. And then I was telling Ish, I was like, this is where Derrick Henry makes his money. This is what made him a Hall of Fame running back. I think he is. I think he's going to be one of the last really great running backs that we've been able to witness. Ring or not, he stood up and he's King Henry. You get a nickname like that, you've earned it. And man, fourth quarter and on, he gets a little hard to tackle. Do you see them Bengals players when Henry gets it outside? They were like, bruh, I'm not tackling you. Mind you, because they rest him a lot. Mind you, he used to be a workhorse. Now he's splitting time with Hill. And when they put him in, fourth quarter, Derrick Henry could hit you for 100 in the fourth quarter alone just because your team is tired of hitting him all day and they don't want to take that brutality and they're watching the clock. But a hell of a game, man. It was an absolute treat to watch. I lost connection?
No, you're still there. Just your picture's gone. Yeah, but yeah, he's a freight train for crying out loud when he gets out there. Right now, I just don't see your face, but we're still going. Oh, he's out. So I guess it's just me.
I'm still here. I'm just trying to check my. I don't know what happened. Like I didn't do anything. Yeah, I'm gonna take it down so I can try to maybe replug it in.
Okay, no worries.
And make sure you have the right. Yeah, of course.
So anyway, going into tonight, let's look at the if you got fantasy players going tonight. Of course, Purdy is a start. Jordan Mason's a definite start tonight. Looking at wide receivers, Debo and Ayuk. Kittle definitely. So if any of those guys are must starts if you've got them. On the Seahawks side, Geno Smith is iffy. The San Francisco defense is tough, but if you've got better options, you should go that way. Of course, Kenneth Walker is a must start. I wouldn't look at Charbonnet too much. Kenneth Walker's healthy. Metcalf is a start. Jackson Smith and Jigba may be a flex play. I'm not completely high on him going. I expected so much more out of him coming into this season, and no, I guess it's just me now. So he's dumped completely. So so if you got any questions, we're going to be on for like another 30 minutes or so. But as far as tonight's game, I'm looking at I expected so much out of JSN, and he just hasn't produced. I thought that this year would be a breakout year for him, and it hasn't happened. So I would definitely proceed with caution. Noah Fant is interesting if you're having tight end struggles. I like what he's been doing as of lately. I don't have the stats, but I do like him there. Oh, I see your
And we're back. Yeah, man. It's just it's been working too hard. I think the camera's been working too hard.
You had to just cool it down, put it in some ice.
Man. Jeez Louise. Let me get everything back up here.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I was just talking about player rankings for tonight, looking at the different players that were available for this game. And just looking, of course, most of the starters for San Francisco are good, but for Seattle, I'm mainly looking at Walker and Metcalf and maybe Fant if you're having tight end issues. That's what I was just getting into, was that Fant's an interesting play. He's been playing good as of late. But other than that, I'm not looking at too many of the Seahawks for tonight's game, unless you're on a bye. That's what everybody's dealing with right now.
Right.
Is having to put somebody in that you really don't want to.
Yeah.
Because your players on a bye week, so it's tough.
So in our league, we have a few guys with some players that you see me highlighted down here. I have DK. Tighten Up has most players. These are two teams that have a lot of popular players. One thing last week, man, Kenneth Walker coming back, it kind of slowed their running game down. I thought Charbonnet was better last week. Now, as you go to week, team to team, things change. Yeah. But I do think Charbonnet was a little more solid. And it's like as soon as Walker came back, it slowed up.
Yeah, I'm not as high on Zachy boy.
Mm-hmm. No.
He's all right. I'm just not. He's had the one good week.
Right.
Against Miami, and everybody's running on Miami.
Mm-hmm. He had those. I thought he played well when Walker, but when they play together, it's when what I'm saying is when he was the solo back, it seemed like he did okay at times, but like with Walker's just a monster. But sometimes they can crash out with Walker too. He's either boom or bust. Walker, out there, or he can get hurt, no problem. He's Dope Walker Award winner
for those 2 games. But I thought he was okay. The thing is that their defense got ran on by the Giants, and that kept Seattle off the field quite a bit.
Yeah. Let me check my matchup for this week.
Yep.
Man, Josh Allen against the Jets, another tough matchup for him, man.
It is. Yeah, that's gonna be a rough one.
Another tough matchup. I didn't think he was going to do as bad as he did against Houston. 30 passes. I wonder if that. I don't know. Then he looked like he had a concussion at some point. Like, God damn, man. His head bounced off the turf, bro.
Yeah, that was
bounced.
Sketchy, yeah.
Bounced, and they let him back in. I'm like, bullshit. He passed that protocol. I'm sorry. I was just like, yeah, all right. Drake London got back because it was more of a rib injury. You just thought it was a head injury. Then he goes back out there. But man, your head bounced like that. Come on. I know Josh Allen is a big dude. He missed
like one play.
Right. And then he runs, grabs his helmet, runs back out there, and he looked like he had a concussion. Look at this shit. 30 for 9 for 131 yards.
Not a good game.
He looks concussed. This is crazy. This is crazy, bro. 12 points last week against Baltimore. 22 this week. He threw the ball 30 times for a combined 321 yards. Come on, man.
That's got to be worrisome. If you're an Allen owner, definitely.
Come on, man.
And then you're going up against the Jet defense. Now, granted, the only saving grace is they've just fired their coach, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers.
He looked bad, bro.
He looks like Mr. Rogers out there. He's just not.
3 picks.
Yeah, not good.
Three hot dog picks too, like casual hot dog in it. That's why I like to refer to it. When you just kind of, he has that laissez-faire drop back.
Oh yeah,
like Favre used to have. Favre drop back, la-di-da.
Yep.
Him and Rodgers, they have that. Multiple time MVP. So Rodgers is that dude, but he's 42 now, and
it's showing.
The Jets have not done well with their quarterback situation since Darnold.
Yeah,
like if you keep going back, Sanchez, even nobody that's starting for Seattle right now, Geno.
Yeah,
they never found it's been a long time. That just goes to the organization. How you haven't found a QB1 in a long time?
Well, ask Washington, ask Cleveland. There are 2 others now. Washington.
Cleveland tried, to be fair.
They've tried. The problem is like, look at what Baker Mayfield's doing. They had Baker, and then they ran out of patience when Baker was not the problem in Cleveland.
Right.
They had so many other issues in Cleveland. Right. He ended up being the scapegoat for that team. And now they bet they wish they had him instead of all the money they sunk in all, picks and everything they sunk into
Right.
Watson. And it's like same thing with Washington, but I think they finally got one in Daniels. As much as it pains me to say it, man, that kid looks like he's going to be here for a long time. Unless he does an RG3 and gets a really bad injury, or Carson Wentz gets a really bad injury and doesn't recover for it. But you know what it is. All right, one flex PPR. You're pulling those up. Ford Rico going up against the Detroit defense, which has been pretty up and down, really. Christian Kirk, Juwan Jennings. That's a tough one because he has been a thorn in my side as an Ayuk owner. Roma Duzier, I like really good. I think they've got a pretty favorable matchup this week.
Okay, so we're looking for 2 spots here. 1 wide receiver and 1 flex spot for PPR. Okay, let's go down. So we got Ford. Let's just look at who's been having. Obviously, Rico had a solid last game, but that's Pittsburgh, man. Pittsburgh is going to give you a lot of opportunities with the ball, just because their offense isn't explosive. So that could be an anomaly here. But he's definitely the go-to back out there for sure. I just always suspect when a running back is 4 years in and you still haven't really seen him break through yet in the league. But if you just need him for 1 week, let's see. We have Ford. I'm not trusting Ford just because he hasn't really shown much this year. He had 1 good week, which was against the Raiders and against Dallas as well too. But I'm not really. I think you have better options.
My only thing on Ford is they're playing against the Eagles, man. Mm-hmm. And we know the Eagles defense doesn't seem 1 week they've been able to stop the run. 1 week.
That is true. That's a good point.
1 week.
That's a good point.
Stop the run. And that they look sad other than that. Mm-hmm. So I have this thing, maybe it's because I'm an Eagles fan and I'm down on my own team a lot, typical Eagles fan. I like to start people playing the Eagles because they always tend to do well, man, especially quarterbacks. I considered going out to get Deshaun Watson just to play him against the Eagles because their defensive backs are playing so crappy and Vic Fangio's a horrible defensive coordinator. Yeah. So I would put a pin in Ford. Just saying. Okay. Now, Dowdle on the other side, man, he's a scary play for me only because he has the potential, but they're going up against Detroit, which is not a great matchup. Granted, they're at home, and he's still kind of splitting carries with Zeke. So it's not splitting. Now it's more like 60-40, but it's a tough play there. I like him. He's gaining momentum, and I think he's going to be good. But because of matchup, I would go Ford over Rico for those guys. Okay. Just saying.
Yeah. So I know we need at least 1 wide receiver spot. So let's narrow down at least 1 wide receiver spot for him. You got Wicks. Man, he's like boomer bust, man. 13 against Minnesota. He's had that 1 good week against Minnesota.
Here's my thing about Wicks is I picked him up in my other league. And so then I started watching him closely. Mm-hmm. Dude drops a lot of balls.
Okay.
He drops a lot of balls. And I was watching this game last week and I started him and I regretted it immediately. Then I started to notice that he's a boom or bust kind of guy. Now he could go off for 20, but he could do like he did this week and get you 5. I just, there's something about him, dude. I think he needs a little bit more seasoning because he's just not all the way there. He's got potential. I think Odunze is more solid for me. Now, granted, numbers, you look at the numbers for the season. He had a decent game last week. Decent. He's only had 1 really breakout game, but they're playing Jacksonville. So
Carolina, they did a lot of rushing touchdowns. I think they had about 3 rushing touchdowns from their backs. Yeah, out there in Chicago did because Rashawn Johnson had 2, and I know Swift had 1 as well too. Duze, man, let me see. I'm probably going to have to go Christian Kirk as one of them. He's the only one that's really consistent to me. I just think the quarterback play isn't consistent, but I think Christian Kirk is consistent. Yeah. Because when they go to him, look, 10 or more times, he's getting you 20 points. And he's either going to get you 4 or double digits, and that's scary. But if you need a flex spot, I wouldn't mind putting Christian Kirk in there. But that young kid, Thomas, man, he's a beast for Jacksonville, man. I like this kid. LSU produces wide receivers, bro.
Yeah, they do.
For Neighbors and this guy, to be doing this thing. Jamar Chase, Jefferson. I
Yeah.
mean, jeez. I don't know if you been watching Brian Thomas. He looks good, man.
I haven't watched a lot of Jacksonville,
Good.
just because they're not fun games to watch.
I feel you on that.
There's so much to watch. Why would I waste time watching the Jaguars?
I feel you. So to answer your question, man, I will probably go. Man, I think I'm leaning with Greg here with the Ford play, maybe in your flex, and then I'm going Christian Kirk. Who are they? Detroit. Man, this could be a shootout, and then Rico have a solid game, man. That's
it's a dilemma. You got to pull the trigger on one, and it could go either way. We kind of glossed over Jennings too playing tonight.
True that. My bad. Yep.
Jennings is a vulture. He did get banged up in that Arizona game, and they're off for saying keep on the bench this week. And I think that's mainly because he got banged up in that game against Arizona. He didn't look his best. So I would say for this week, maybe Juwan doesn't get the percentage, but I'm kind of on the fence about Odunze or Kirk. But I could agree with you on Kirk. You could sway me on that. I think they're really close. I'm
just trying to give him something solid, man, because
Kirk is more solid. That's more, less risky.
Right. Definitely, man. I'm definitely going with the veteran here, Kirk. I like Rico too. He can, because Detroit's going to score. So Dallas is going to have the ball. And especially in the passing game, he had a touchdown last week. Man, I would go Ford and Kirk. And if you're feeling Rico, I wouldn't be mad at you if you played Rico, Connor. Yeah. Good luck to you.
We only say Ford because the Eagles' run defense has only looked good 1 week out of the year.
Right.
The run defense has been getting trucked. You can look through the stats. They have been getting trucked. So that's why I would say that. And yeah, my thing is, it's funny because Kirk and Odunze are playing each other, so you're going to see what happens. I almost give the edge to Odunze because they're at home and Chicago has a much better defense. So I'm leaning toward Odunze, but I'm on board with you as far as it's a little bit riskier play than Kirk is because with Jacksonville, they'll probably be having to be throw the ball. They're probably going to be behind. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for Kirk to get some targets, so you'll be all right.
Cheers, Connor. Thanks for stopping by, man. All right. So, Debo or Higgins? Man, Debo's a boomer buster too. Here
wasn't early, but after he got banged up and sat out a week, he struggled against Arizona for sure.
Right. So, but he's such a dangerous threat. So you're obviously in a good position if you have T. Higgins, who went off last week, 14 and 10 the week before. And then you have the Giants coming up. So that matchup alone is just a good matchup for you. So matchup-wise, I'm taking T. Matchup and quarterback-wise, I'm taking T. Higgins. Because the way you mentioned earlier about the Bengals defense.
Yep.
So that means Burrow, if the defense is playing bad, Burrow will have the ball. I think we've seen Burrow throw the ball 39 and 31 times. Burrow's going to throw the ball at least about 30 times a game. So with that being said, and Chase starting to look really good, which is going to open up more chances for Higgins. It's just the way it works. But man, this is tough because it's like you have two good matchups. I like the matchup against Seattle too. I think Higgins can get off against Seattle, and I think T. Higgins can do well. So that's where I go down to who's my quarterback and who do I trust more. I trust Burrow more than I trust Purdy. So I'm going Higgins just off of that. I don't think this is a step down. I just think it just depends on who has the best game, man. But T. Higgins is a wide receiver too, but a really good one. 10 targets, mind you. Obviously, he missed the first 2 games of the season, but then he comes back for the first game, a little filler. But then you go 10 targets, 14 targets. Yeah. To me, he's trending in the right way.
Yeah, I can get behind T. My only concern is, Debo is going to have a good game after. I think he might bounce back this week and have a good game against Seattle.
Hey, I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Debo's Debo. It's like one of those guys that used to be a non-sit player. It just, he's had a couple after the injury. He's not gotten on track. So first 2 weeks of the season, though, man, dominant. So I expect him to have a big game tonight. That's just me. I think T can go off against the Giants. I think that Giant Bengals game is going to be like the Baltimore game. They're going to be trading blows because Bengals need a win, dude. They need a win bad.
Absolutely.
And they're, you know, sitting there with one win on the season. They need it. And after the Giants come off of that crazy win over Seattle, I think that Cincinnati probably has the potential to go off. So
Yeah.
I think both of these are decent plays either way. Me personally, I'd lean a little toward Debo, but that's
Debo. Hey,
yeah,
there you go, man. 50-50 split here.
sorry,
I'm taking T. Higgins.
that helped absolutely nothing.
Right. Because I love, but hey, this is you can still. It's like a 4. It's like a 4 and against for something, right?
Yeah. Point counterpoint.
Yeah.
Point counterpoint.
Right. Like, you could put something out there. Hey, just
Yeah.
hey, these are the pros and these are the cons. Counterpoint. But yeah, man. So good luck, but you're in a good situation, just not even having to play both of them, which is crazy to have even T. Higgins on your bench. You're doing good with your squad, man. Said, should I trade James Cook and Devontae Adams for Mixon and Worthy? James Cook got turf toe, and I'm afraid turf toe is one of those injuries that are tough to recover from, especially if you're a running back. Let me
and you know that that it's killed Buffalo. So yeah, he had a good game against Houston.
And you have Mixon,
non-participant. Yeah, I have.
He has Cook and Devontae.
Yeah, he's looking to trade them for Mixon. Worthy Mixon coming back from this injury. Worthy, in my opinion, is a very intriguing player because with the injuries that the Chiefs have, not only is Worthy going to get the receiving play, he's going to get some work out of the backfield as well. He already is with, some reverses and stuff like that. I think we might see more of that because Kareem Hunt's going to be good for them, but they're not going to settle just for Kareem. They're going to, I think by the end of the season, Worthy could be the guy, especially with Rice going down, who steps up. Is it going to be, what's his name? That had a good game last week.
Talking about Schuster?
Yes, Juju. He had a decent game last week.
Yeah, Juju, about 9 catches.
Yeah.
Let's see. 7 catches, 130 yards.
Yeah,
man, solid. I mean, right off the street down there, and boom, right into that. So let's see about this trade. So you're saying James Cook and Devontae Adams for Joe Mixon and Xavier Worthy. With nobody really, I don't think Adams is going to play again for the Raiders. And then James Cook, you're right, man. If he is on that turf toe, but he's still at practice this week. Oh, listed as a non-participant. Oh, I'm sorry. No. He didn't practice, which is huge. He may be going on the IR. I guess maybe if he's going to miss 2 to 3 games. Anyway, let me get back to it. If somebody's going to give you Mixon and Worthy for Cook and Devontae, I'm taking that right now.
Me too.
Just because we don't know where Devontae is even going to land. And James Cook, like you said, this could be an injury that, nags him all year. Somebody's going to give you up those question mark on Cook, question mark on Adams, where to go for a shorty of Mixon. We know that the Houston Texans need Mixon. It's clear when he wasn't playing that they need him out there just to even help Stroud out. And then, like you said, Worthy is like a Swiss Army knife right now. I mean, not a lot of targets. 4 last week was his most targets at 6. Not a lot of targets, but like Greg said, they're going to run him out the backfield as well, too. So I'm taking that trade if I can get it, man.
I think so, too, because if I look at Mixon and Cook's slightly better, but Mixon, that's almost a wash.
Right.
When Mixon is healthy, he's a definite RB1. He's definite, somebody that you want in your lineup, especially if Cook goes down. And that's the key here is the kind of up in the air status of both Cook and Adams. At least you get something locked in that you might have for the rest of the season when Mixon doesn't get hurt again. Could I get DJ Moore and Javonte? I don't want Javonte Williams anywhere near my team. I know he's had a couple good weeks, but I just
McLaughlin.
Yeah,
it's hard to really...
McLaughlin. Yeah, those guys were sitting on the waiver wire. Yeah, I'm not even. I would not go with Javonte, man. Oh, for Cook.
Yeah.
No.
Folks are still holding on to Javonte because he had that good year, that good start to the season last year got hurt, and everybody's anticipating him coming back, and then it doesn't really work. Really, since his rookie year, he's been injured,
Yeah.
pretty much like off and on. So he's been tough.
I mean, he had a
I
decent
like
game,
the first trade.
but the rushing is not there. So
Yeah, I like the first trade. If you can get Mixon and Worthy,
yeah,
I'm taking that one. The other one, I don't know. I may have to wait and see where Adams is going first before I get rid of him for DJ Moore.
Yeah.
And then Williams to mix and swap. I like a Cook swap with the turf toe. I still like Cook better if he's not going to go on the IR and come back. So I'm with Greg on the Javonte Williams.
At least you got fielded a good trade request,
right.
and I haven't gotten a good trade request in our league or my other league.
Yeah.
Some fool tried to offer me Chuba Hubbard for Barkley the other day. I'm like, dude, what league are you playing in?
Wow.
What game are you playing? Why do you think that's funny?
Madness.
Why are you throwing shit out there? And he threw somebody else in. It was just another throwaway
little filler. Something he was somebody he was going to drop anyway.
Quantity does not equal quality. Come on, dude. And just give me a break. But yeah, I haven't seen a good trade offer this year yet. So then he asked me after that, he's like, well, I'm like, you're not getting Barkley. The price is way too high. So then he was like, who would you be willing to give up? And at the time I said, well, let me just say who I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up AJ Brown, and I'm not going to give up Nico Collins or Mixon. Those are my four at the time, unless you make me a good offer for Mixon. Right. Now I wish I said that about Nico because he's on the IR.
Man,
I might have gotten something for him, at least something. But Nico will be back in that other league for playoff time, so I'm not stressing. I can pick up. There's a plethora of good receivers out there that you can fill in. It's harder for backs. So
ice cold. OG Jones. Should I start Purdy or Kyler Murray?
We already talked Purdy tonight, but
definitely talk Purdy.
Kyler's a different beast. Different beast. Who's he got this week?
All right. So Kyler has Green Bay Packers. He had a monster run. What was it the other week? Was it last week? The other week. The 55-yard run was crazy.
That was San Francisco.
Damn. Yeah, 7 carries, 83, 55-yarder. Yeah. Man, it's crazy how fast this kid is. He's so dynamic, man. If he wasn't, anyway, he's been in the league 5 years now. That's honestly surprising, man. That's crazy. That 5 years really snuck up. Yeah. But anyway, man, against Green Bay.
Yep.
Who did Green Bay play last week? I like to try to. Let's see.
They won.
Played the Rams.
Yeah, they won in that weird ass game.
Their defense has been playing really well.
Yeah, the Rams are just so hapless.
Not less than 15 points a week for their defense, man.
Yeah.
But they're giving up yards. 4, 3. Oh, that was to us.
The Eagles,
Excuse us while we whoop your ass in Brazil. Excuse us.
One of the good games the Eagles played this year.
It was the best game that we offensively.
Yeah, offensively,
Offensively, that was our best game.
Considering they turned the ball over in that game too.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely are there. But if you really look across the NFL, man, everybody's good for at least a pick a week. The only person that hasn't really been turning the ball over, like pick wise, I can't really even think of that. I mean, everybody I know is out there that's not no quarterback has been super consistent this year. Really, only Jaden Daniels. If you really step back and it's not weighted so high on his first 2 starts. If you really look at the way he's played in training, they're looking good, man. Because Baker came out like gangbusters against that game at Tampa. In first game, and he's taking some time to catch back up. But by the end of the game, you could see, because I played against him week 1. That's why I have a vivid memory of this, because I played against him. And, we watch our division games. So, man, I'm going, but the Kyler Murray, sorry to get back to your question.
Yeah.
I'm going, man, I don't know, man. Purdy has been turning the ball over.
I know. So when I said earlier that I would start Purdy over Stroud, that was because Stroud is playing the Patriots. In this case, I think the matchups are very equal on paper, and I would take Kyler because of his ability to score. I just like Kyler in this one, slight edge to Kyler for me.
he's not turning the ball over a lot. That's why.
Exactly.
I see that. Yeah, only 2 picks.
That Washington game was a rough one. Detroit was,
Oh yeah, I see that.
but that was, man, Washington's playing good ball. So one thing I wanted to say about the whole Baker situation, that's what infuriated me. Baker did everything he could to beat the Falcons last week, and it wasn't his fault that they gave up 500 passing yards to Kirk Cousins. And what infuriates me is that how badly the Eagles looked against that Tampa Bay defense that gave up 500 yards to Kirk Cousins. So I'm gonna hit that for the Eagles real quick, throw that out there.
Yeah.
It's infuriating when you see that, and our team looks like they're completely confused out there. But that's a little side note, not fantasy related, just Eagle related. Throw that out there because I'm an angry Eagles fan. I have to deal with that every week. So,
hey, did you? Well, to answer your question, I'm with Greg too. I mean, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Only because of the turnovers, man. Only because of the turnovers. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's what I've noticed about Purdy at times. It's just like a lot of quarterbacks in the league, and I think Josh Allen has been coming into this too, except for the Arizona game. When they get down early, they start to press. That's all that happened. Baltimore jumped on them so quick that they started to press that game, and then Allen just looked bad the rest of the game, but he looked desperate. Yeah. When you get down at 2 scores early, you start to press. Purdy can get like that too. It's kind of like this. If like Frisco has a lead, Purdy's your guy. If you need him to throw you back into the game, that could be iffy. I think that's when he throws his most interceptions. Remember last year it was like when they lost 3 games in a row and they all were like walk-off interceptions or something like that. When they're down, they just look so much different. And when they didn't have McCaffrey, they look like a whole different squad. Yeah, McCaffrey's a closer.
Yeah, they're lucky.
He's always an option for you. Mason just maybe isn't necessarily that closer, and I'm sure they all are missing them. But I'm going Kyler Murray tonight, man, to answer your question. 3 minutes left or so in the show.
It's a close one, but definitely Kyler.
100%. 100%. I do have my worries, man. Sermon. See, you wouldn't know what I'm mad about. Let me tell you what I'm mad about. This bullshit right here. Everybody knows that Taylor's not fucking playing. Like, cut this. He's not. Y'all were going to put him on the IR. You think he's coming back after 1 week? So now I have to bring him off the IR, drop a player, right? Play this game, right? So they put him out on Friday or Saturday, then pick up maybe. It's just every week. That's one thing I don't know about Sleeper, man. How is he questionable just because he didn't go on the IR? Why can't he stay out until he's in?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just one thing I wish I would have changed a little bit. I can change as commissioner. Like, you could just put anybody questionable or anything on the IR, but they have to carry that tag. And I can make that adjustment. And it's not just because of me, but I did see it last week. It's not. Everybody's going through it. Everybody goes through it. We had 5 on our bench. We have to wait for these guys to drop them. Go ahead,
I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's funny though that it becomes an issue when it happens to you.
I'm fine. I am absolutely with these 5 bench players. I'm absolutely with it because I want it to be a little more ebb and flow. In our Yahoo years, one thing that I didn't like is people will hoard players, just hoard them, guys that maybe babies all the way year.
I would still have Jalen Wright. I would still have Chase Brown. I couldn't hold on to him because I needed to play other players.
Right. And I kind of like that. I like that shuffle. The market is always crazy. The waiver wire, is always bumping. And that's why you see more drops and pickups in our league than we have in past years. Yeah. Just because you can't hold on to a dud until he likes to flourish. I will say this.
Yeah.
I have players that are bench droppable on my team. I could easily drop Keon Coleman.
Oh yeah, I see. Yep.
I Addison's had one good game. Do I want to drop him? No, but I'm not dropping Drake London.
Right.
I'm not dropping DK. I'm not dropping Drake. I mean, or Godwin.
Yeah.
I can drop Sutton if I want to. I have droppable players. I think that's why I'm like cool. But when I have 2 RB1s,
that are both out,
sucks, man. ETN. To be fair to ETN. He's had a shoulder injury for the past 2 weeks. So I understand it looks like Bigsby is usurping him.
Right.
But it's not the case. And I have a quote from Doug Peterson. He said, Travis is our guy.
Yeah.
Tank had a good game. It's just the way the game goes. And that's coming from an former NFL quarterback and a Super Bowl coach. I think if it's the injury. It's why he only got, if you look at the snap count, look at the snaps, 36. Tank Bigsby didn't even look great until he broke that last 65-yard touchdown. So we talking about Tank still being a boomer bust running back, bro. Look at here. 13 carries, right? But one play was 65 yards.
Yeah.
It's pedestrian otherwise, but you had that one monster play, and then, he had the touchdown. So I understand why people have Tank. I think Tank should be rostered in your league 100%. Because ETN is carrying an injury. But don't be worried or don't be surprised that when he's considered healthy that he gets that workload again. I really do.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Bigsby looks good, but I think ETN is still a better back. I just think Jacksonville isn't playing good football as a team, and that's just hurting them overall. It's like they're always down, so now they need Lawrence, who was a turnover machine at times, man. Lawrence has led the league in turnovers, man. So it's always been a problem for him, but he's been solid this year. No fumbles lost. That's good. He's holding the ball and a couple picks here. So, but they won one game? I think it was their first win last week. Whew. Anyway, so let's get up out of here and watch some football, man.
Sounds good.
Let's and I appreciate everybody stopping by tonight. A couple good questions. Even make me think about it a little bit. Good thing I ain't have none of those players. So I start second guessing myself up here. But appreciate everybody stopping by for week 6. Do not pay attention to your screen. It is week 6, not week 5, with like the title says. But man, good luck to everybody. You got anything before we get out of here, Greg?
No, I'm breaking a rule. I normally watch the Eagles at home. This week, I'm going to go with my boys to B-dubs and just deal with it. Just deal with it.
Madness.
So go Birds. I know it's just the thing is like it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I feel awkward when I watch the Eagles game out. Like I'm kind of like,
I do too. I'm doing it. I'm like, you know what? That's why I'm so mad about the Bucks game that I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go have some wings, have some beer. What happens, happens. Yeah. And so, but anyway, put that out there. Go Birds.
I'm just mad about the Atlanta game. The Bucks game, we got our ass whooped. Like, it is what it is. Like, they can play too. They have a solid team, solid quarterback, good foundation in Tampa. I don't
see the Atlanta game either. Yeah.
In the Atlanta games, that one really burns.
Yep.
But the Tampa, we got our butts kicked, man. But we have a good schedule coming up, man. We got a lot of winnable games. Eagles can get their shit together. They're on the slide, man. I'm just happy those games weren't at home because it would have got loud in there.
No, I hear you.
They would have got. Luckily, all the trash games have been away.
Hey, they start losing to the Browns.
Oh yeah,
there's going to be freaking riots. And that stadium is going to burn. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, man.
That's all I had to say.
The Eagles have to start well. There is no question about it.
Oh, for sure.
They absolutely
coming up a bye. You got Devontae and AJ back. You got Lane back. Come on now. This better be a cakewalk. Better be.
It should. We should. Like you said earlier, man. It's just about the defense. We play a soft zone.
Pandora's box. I just opened up Pandora's box right as we're signing.
No. Hey, everybody's thinking it. We cannot struggle against the Browns. That is just as simple as that. That will start the murmurs loud. So I think the Eagles fans are just more so frustrated because they know the talent that they have and it's underperforming.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They've seen this same team have 2 10-0 starts to the season, or like 2 really 10-1 starts to the season. Like,
exactly.
It's huge, man. But anyway, Cleveland, Eagles.
It's
not going to ruin my day.
I didn't mean to open that wormhole up.
Because we're real Eagles fans, man. I'm a real Eagles fan.
It's the truth. It's the truth. We're going to have a good weekend.
It is what it is, man.
I am playing golf Friday and Monday, so I'm going to have a good weekend regardless. I'm good.
There you go, man.
So,
all right, man. We're going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. I won't see you until the following Tuesday. I'm going to be gone.
That's right.
Gone. Take a little break. I take my mid-season breaks. I like to go to different countries. Anyway. But we get out of here, man. And we'll see y'all in about a week or so.
Sounds good.
Oh no, don't want to put that.